What's the most creative way you've ever followed your parents' rules just to annoy them? My parents had one unbreakable rule: no electronics after 10 p.m. They'd literally disconnect the Wi-Fi router and hide it in their bedroom safe every single night, convinced this would make me a better student. So I decided to follow their rule exactly while making them regret it completely. I was 16, struggling with insomnia since middle school. The only thing that helped me sleep was listening to podcasts or audiobooks. But my parents insisted screens were ruining my generation's sleep patterns. They'd confiscate my phone at 9:55 p.m. sharp, march upstairs with the router, and lock everything in their closet safe like they were securing nuclear codes. After weeks of staring at my ceiling until 3 a.m., I snapped. If they wanted me to avoid electronics after 10 p.m., I'd give them exactly what they asked for. I started with musical instruments, bought a used trumpet from a pawn shop with my birthday money. Every night at 10:01 p.m., I'd practice scales badly. My dad would storm into my room yelling about noise, and I'd innocently remind him that brass instruments weren't electronics. You said no electronics after 10. This is acoustic. When they banned instruments after 10 p.m., I switched to woodworking, set up a whole workshop in my room with hand tools. The rhythmic hammering of me building a bookshelf at midnight drove them insane. Mom burst in one night screaming about the sawdust and noise. No electronics, I said, measuring a board, just following your rules. They expanded the rule to include any disruptive activities. So I took up meditation, specifically Tibetan throat singing meditation. The deep, guttural humming vibrated through the walls and rattled their picture frames. Dad threatened to ground me, but I pulled up articles about meditation improving academic performance. Next came my cooking phase. No electronic appliances meant everything had to be done by hand. Grinding coffee beans with a mortar and pestle at 2 a.m., kneading bread dough on my desk. The smell of fresh-baked sourdough wafting through the house at 3 a.m. had them begging me to just use the kitchen normally. Kitchen appliances are electronic, I reminded them. Can't risk it. My masterpiece was interpretive dance. I'd push all my furniture to the walls and practice contemporary dance routines I learned from library books. The periodic thuds of me dramatically throwing myself to the floor in artistic expression had the neighbors texting my parents, asking if everything was okay. Week 6, I started learning Morse code, tapping messages on my desk with a pencil all night long. SOSCANTSLEEPHELP. My mom figured out what I was spelling after downloading a Morse code chart. She looked ready to cry. The breaking point came when I decided to reorganize my entire room every single night, moving furniture, alphabetizing books, color-coding clothes. The scraping and dragging sounds echoed through the house. One night, I accidentally knocked over my bookshelf at 1 a.m. The crash was spectacular. My parents called a family meeting the next morning. Both had dark circles under their eyes. Mom's hands shook from her 4th cup of coffee. "We need to discuss the electronics rule," Dad said, defeated. "But I've been following it perfectly," I said, pulling out a detailed log of all my non-electronic activities. "Look, I've learned 3 new skills: built furniture, improved my fitness through dance, and even started baking." They exchanged exhausted looks. Mom cleared her throat. "Would having your phone help you sleep better?" "Probably," I admitted. "Podcasts really helped with my insomnia before." Dad practically threw my phone at me. "New rule: electronics are allowed if they help you sleep. Please, we're begging you." That night, I peacefully listened to a history podcast and fell asleep by 11 p.m. My parents slept through the night for the first time in 2 months. 6 months later, they still flinch when they hear a trumpet.